Tammy's off camera. I think she looks fine, but she's complaining she doesn't have enough makeup on, so she'll be here in spirit. How much mineral oil? This is from Flea Rod 214. How much mineral oil do you feed a 3-week-old Frenchie? I think you're talking about a Frenchie that needs an enema and it's not pooping. So if you can't get an enema to work, you can give it a little bit of a mineral oil or olive oil orally in its mouth. A mil, 1 cc, plenty. Wolf Kissed. To be honest, I wish I could get my 8-month-old Aussie declawed. Yeah, you've left it too late, honestly.
It's 8 months old.
Yeah,
I gotta go have surgery done.
Yeah, at 8 months old,
it's a bone.
It's a miserable surgery for
you do it to a puppy because the joints aren't fused yet.
Yeah, up to a week older than most.
Not even a week. You need to do it at 3 and 4 days, and get it done because the joints aren't fused.
Yeah.
You wait 8 months. You gotta.
Well,
have
she says I wish I could, so I think she understands she can't.
Yeah. Well, she can do it at a surgery.
I wouldn't do it, would you? Miserable for the dog.
Okay.
I'd like to have your thumbs removed tomorrow. I got you up for surgery for it.
I got more than that for you removed.
Only the appendages I don't use, please.
Your tongue is to be removed.
Yeah, really, exactly.
So you can't speak anymore.
Yes. Janet Head talked to another breeder today who I used for stud service. He said AKC lowered acceptable breeding age to 9 months. Is this true, and what are your thoughts? No, it's not right. It's 8 months, and it has been 8 months forever that I know of. But I mean, nobody in their right mind is, in our opinion, is going to breed an 8-month-old puppy. It's just too young, and
too young.
You probably have problems getting a dog pregnant anyway at that age. I honestly, I
create other problems too. It's like taking a 10-year-old child, little girl, and her being pregnant. So yeah, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I can't believe they asked.
Well, they just said the breeder said you could do it at 9 months. In fact, AKC, for whatever reason the AK is thinking about, they say 8 is acceptable. But
maybe they're talking about a male puppy to be a stud.
No.
Well, they'll accept it at 7 months.
Yeah, that's
for
a different
them.
thing. No,
that's on a puppy stud.
No, I looked it up.
What?
It is 8 months for a female. It's acceptable for the AKC.
bull crap! That's crazy.
I know it is, but it's just true.
Yeah.
All right,
well,
here you go, Tammy.
Wise.
Nia PPS Esapolota Tropico Povero. Can you translate any of this? No, sorry, got to translate for us, folks. Someone's talking about our stud service. What a brilliant way to do it. It is. It's a great way for the customers because the customers don't pay this. You know, if they've got one of our expensive stud dogs, they don't pay an expensive stud fee up front. They pay just $1,000 of it for this month. So that's and you can. The great thing is that when you've got to pay the stud fee, you get to decide when that is. Typically, you can wait as long as 8 weeks, so that's 4 months after the AI, and at that point, you should have deposits. Any buzz is erythromycin good for dogs? 250 milligrams. You have to go look it up. I mean, it's. I don't know what erythromycin. All these antibiotics have got specific things they're good for, things they're not good for. Erythromycin is a fairly common antibiotic.
And remember, James is not a vet. Call your vet.
Not till next month. I'll take my exams.
Yeah, whatever. He is not a vet. He's not taking any exams.
I did fight in the Afghan war.
James, people are going to take you serious. He is not a vet. Call your vet and ask your vet.
We'll Google it. Here you go. Here's a good one. Devoto Slick 45. Any safe way to bring a female dog into heat without needing a vet or prescription? There is, whether you use a vet or not, there's only one safe way that I know of to bring a female into heat, and that is, Tammy?
I don't know. I wasn't listening. I was watching.
Put her with another dog in heat. That works well. It works magically well most of the time. So right now we have Kit, who's in heat, and guess what? So is Deja Vu, and she's about 3 days behind him. So bingo bango, there you go. There are other ways to do this. None of these are recommended by us. There is one that is, there's a couple of hormones that are given to pigs to bring pigs in.
Don't use that.
And I can't think the name of it, but I think it's RU 496 maybe. You can find it on a Revival site, and you'll see all the people who are making comments on it, the Frenchy people, and talking about using it.
Yeah, but it can run the uterus of the female. You might get away with it one time.
Well, here's what I do know about it. It is hit and miss. It can be extremely painful for the dog when it's injected. They do not like it. You can bring a dog in, but you can have a funky breeding. You know, if this was something that was very good to use and worked beautifully, everybody would know about it.
Or you could totally run her whole life to ever be a breeding female.
Well, possibly, but the point here is since it's not something that people typically...
I don't know where it's at.
Since it's things that typically you don't hear people using, including us, means that it's not all it's cracked up to be. Because if it was, we'd all be using it, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So...
You're taking chances if you use it.
You haven't said why you want to use it. Typically, the only reasonable answer is you've got a dog that's maybe almost 3 years old and hasn't had a heat, and you've finally given up on the dog and you're prepared to try
Have a thyroid check first before you ever do something like
this.
this.
That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. That's exactly right.
Check your female's thyroid. If you're having trouble with her coming into heat, check her thyroid.
Right. So Susan Brocksmith, who's used us before, great statement regarding the studying. But how do you go? What do you do if someone doesn't come forth with the stud fee? Do you just don't release the AKC papers? Exactly. Someone's not getting. They've got. So here's the deal: to get a valid AK certificate for the puppies, you have to have a valid AKC breed certificate for your dog, which has the NP number and the breed certificate date on it. And you have to have the AKC number and email of the person who owns the stud dog. And then when you pay your money, AK sends an email to that stud owner for them to approve the litter. And so I get those, and then I look through my records to see whether we've paid the stud fee. And if we haven't, I make a phone call or an email or a text that says, hey, got this thing to approve, want to do it for you, can you please pay the balance of the stud fee? There it is. Pretty easy. Works well, for the most part. Hey, asking about doing a TCI, saying it's 90% rather than AI. How do you feel about it? I think what you mean here is it maybe 90% effective versus something else. So let's just some replies here. So Susan Brocksmith says, and I think that reply is good. As long as your timing with progesterone is correct and you're doing chilled chip semen, that is good. Yes, the numbers of pups depend. So something else you asked about was the number of pups. The number of pups depends on several things. How many puppies did the other female pups have? Females. Okay, well let's. She's got some. You can look at her reply because her reply is really on the money. So let's see. So she answered a couple of questions there. I'm not sure whether you asked that much, but we'll go answer it like she answered it. So look, I think the question is this, you know, there are 3 ways, there's 4 ways to AI a dog. Natural breeding, dogs get together. People who are asking about that, that's not an option because the dog's physically not there. May not be an option because you don't want to get the dogs physically in contact because they're sexually transmitted diseases.
Exactly.
We don't ever do natural breeds, even with our own dogs.
No.
So then you've got artificial intelligence. You've got, Dan's laughing. There's no artificial intelligence over here, it's all real. You've got artificial insemination, which is what we do, where it's non-invasive, it's really pretty safe. There can be complications, specifically with getting some bacteria into the dog's uterus that can cause pyometria. So it's not completely safe, but it's easy to do, it's inexpensive, and you can do it yourself. The next step would be a TCI, which is almost as safe. You have to have an endoscope, and you typically have to have a vet do it, though you could learn to do it yourself. It shaves a day off. You do it a day later, so if you're late on your timing, it's definitely a good way to go. And of course, the people who do TCIs claim that you get bigger litters. All right, don't know whether that's true or not. And then the last choice is to do a surgical insemination, which requires that the dog is put under for a short time, an incision made on its belly, uterus located, and then the semen injected directly into the horns of the uterus. I don't like that one. It's invasive. It's definitely a lot more prone to getting a bacterial infection, and I personally think that it's unnecessary, and that if you're going to go that route, do the TCI. Again, if you are in a problem where you're a day late, then doing a TCI or a surgical is definitely a great option for you. However, what I like to do, and Tammy likes to do, is to do 2 vaginal AIs 2 days apart, because it increases your window of opportunity. And so as long as it's done correctly, with fresh chilled semen that's been shipped correctly, then you get good results. Any of these techniques can end up with big litters, and they can all end up with 0 litters as well. So I have never seen any reliable scientific data on exactly what is more effective than another. And I think it's extremely hard to even get that data. I don't even know how you go about doing a study on it. So, but they're all 4 of those things are valid ways to do it. We like 2, personally, we do 2 vaginal 2 days apart. But we have a lot of our customers we ship to who do TCIs, and maybe do a vaginal first and TCI a day or 2 later. Almost done here. Are you able to give amoxicillin or Clavamox to a female dog after she's been bred if she's showing signs of a bladder infection? Yes, you can. Both those things are safe, but the general idea here though is make sure you're not just giving antibiotics for willy-nilly. Make sure you know why you're giving the antibiotics, because I don't like the idea of just giving antibiotics. I do like the idea of giving antibiotics for the recommended 8-day course for dogs that do have some kind of bacterial, not a viral infection. Oh, this is a nice one. Marilyn Santiago says, thank you. I got more info from you in 11 minutes than my vet and all the vets I called regarding the situation. She's pregnant, and I think it's too late now. Thank you so much again. Many blessings. Well, you're warm welcome. Okay, there we go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.